Hello guys, I've noticed this game's free weekend and tried it out just a handful of hours just to check if the small player base is unfair to it. So let's have a look. Before starting, let me just mention a producer that asked me for input about one of his games, Boundless Salvation. I'll leave a link to it in the description, go there and say him what you think. He's a cool guy. Now, about Lawbreakers. This is not actually a proper review. I've just played for 5 or 6 hours, but I've asked for the opinion of some of the community on Reddit and I have my own ideas on the game. This is what I've summed up, and there's a lot to talk about this game if you have the time and patience to listen. Lawbreakers, it's a Twitch arena first-person shooter that tries to emulate the old Quake style games based on skills and map knowledge. Pretty much there's no story in the game, at least one that makes sense to me. So let's forget about that. For most players that's not important, but I have to mention that. Even the characters have no backstories and they are kinda undifferentiated, and most times I didn't even know if I was one of the good or the bad guys. It has a good number of maps, but they were almost all very similar and not very exciting. Generically, they all follow the same scheme, a flanking route and an in-your-face straightforward path to the objective. That usually is in a central open low-gravity field. There was one exception though, that I loved, Vertigo map. That was so open and allowed me so much more strategical options that I could spend an entire day just playing that one. Graphics are vibrant, with a large spectrum of colors without being childish or cartoonish, but sometimes it was a bit confusing when we were engaged in the mid to long range 1v1. I've liked the sounds from the weapons, they were distinct, but sometimes I had some trouble distinguishing the hit markers from the other sounds all around. As usual in the genre, we play a 5v5 team match. The game modes are more or less the same from other games except Blitzball, where we have to do something similar to score goals, but it was essentially another capture the flag with a twist. We have 9 characters, each one with different roles. They are quite distinct and they've seemed balanced. Even the community didn't mention overpowered classes when I discussed the game in Reddit, so that seems not to be an issue. It's easy to try them out and quickly you will understand which one you like the most. The key feature about this game is the low gravity fights, and when you get the hang of those, they are quite cool and satisfying. Really, thumbs up here. Also, the skill cap to master this feature is quite high. Not so high as I was expecting, but even so, we are easily played around by a more experienced player, and that's how it should be. Despite that, it's quite easy to get into the game and take fun of him. When the low grav is so important in a game, I found quite strange that most times the choke points were inside small rooms where we were permanently hitting the ceiling and the objects, making the battles chaotic and sometimes disorientating. On most maps the objective was inside the room, and the player base is so small that any try to make a custom match just to choose the maps will end up with an empty match. It was annoying. Now the game has a competitive mode, but maybe too little too late. I've queued several times, 2 or 3 times for over 5 minutes without being able to find a match, so I was unable to play any competitive game whatsoever in this free trial. That leaves us with quick play. Almost zero communication and team play, and also almost any toxicity that I've noticed. At least that is positive. So, Lawbreakers is quite a good game. Gameplay wise, it's rather good. It has good game modes, is well designed, characters and team roles are well balanced, easy to get into, very mechanically rewarding since the better players will almost always outperform the worse ones. What went wrong then? The community does not know the correct answer to this, but the game does not have much content at the time, and even I noticed that it can become boring quite quickly, and I've just played about 6 hours. Despite being good and balanced, the game does not excel in nothing particularly, so people had stick around their previous games. If they were playing Overwatch, they remain playing it. If they were with Counter-Strike, well, they keep with it. The genre is now oversaturated and players need something outstanding to change their main titles. Just the overall quality of the gameplay is not enough nowadays. For a newcomer, is not easy to find balanced matches because there's no matchmaking, just a match balance. In the other team will surely be a good player that will dominate all newcomers, that will not have a proper learning curve. There's no kill cam, so you have no chance to learn with your mistakes. And believe me, when I say that half of the times you will not understand how someone killed you, it's very hard for a casual. So they will learn even slowly. Now people like loot and shiny stuff, and Lawbreakers crates give an interesting stuff. Seems there's no shiny rewards for our effort. It seems also that at some point changes were made to the game, and that annoyed original players. That didn't work well also. Even assuming that the changes were overall good, they have upset the current players that at the time left the game, and didn't attract new players to the game since the player count is quite low nowadays. I've waited some days to do this video just to check the behavior of the players after the free weekend. As expected, the player count returned almost to the same number as before, and that it is quite low. It's hard for me to recommend this game, but I have to do it since, well, it's very good. It's a very good game. So give it a try. Not at a full price, but if you find it in a sale, maybe or almost for sure you can enjoy it and stick around. I've enjoyed this game a lot, and this game deserves some love. So guys, see you next time. Bye!